Hello from Samarin, Slovakia. It is Thursday afternoon. I am putting in the final touches on the training and getting all the media commitments and everything else done for the Collins Cup this weekend. If you missed it last night, the matchups were announced, and here is where everything stands. I will be pushing off or diving off the pontoon in the 11th race of the day, with just one more race at the end. So that might put a little bit of pressure on things if the earlier races keep it close. That might put a little bit more pressure on the last couple of races. As you can see, I am paired up with Braden Currie and Patrick Lange. So should be a fun matchup. It is definitely a runner's matchup, which I am very excited about. Obviously, you all have seen what Patrick has done in Kona, and obviously Braden has had some fantastic runs as well, especially at the Asia Pacific race. I think he is the two-time Asia Pac champion. Obviously Patrick, two-time world champion, and also won a couple regional Ironman championships as well. So I definitely have my work cut out for me. So if you look at the matchup on paper, you've got Braden, who is sitting with the 6th overall world ranking. Swim is definitely a little bit better than mine. We're very similar on the bike, and I've got just a couple points higher than him on the run, but obviously when it's getting that close, there's not much of a difference there. And then Patrick, obviously very much the same, really solid swimmer, strong on the bike. He showed in Tulsa what he can do on the bike. You know, people had criticized him for being a guy that sits in. Well, he kind of showed that that's not always the case, and rode away from the field in Tulsa, and then ran pretty darn well after that. So after a while of not really racing that much, he showed that he's in top form there in May. So definitely going to be a good matchup. If I were to pick the matchups, this is the one that I would have wanted. I'm really excited about racing both of these guys, and yeah, it's going to be a little bit tougher to bridge the gap on the run like I normally would. So for me, from a strategic standpoint, I have to swim really well. It is a dive start from a pontoon. I've done one other dive start, and it did not go that well for me. My dive is more akin to a belly flopped, so I've got some practicing to do between now and the time that the race starts to hopefully be able to dive and get on feet. The worst case scenario is if Patrick and Braden are able to work together and sit in there together on the swim, and I'm off by myself. That's going to put me at a little bit of a disadvantage. So I need to have a really solid swim start and be able to try to hold on to feet as long as possible to get that draft benefit as long as we can. On the bike, we are at a 20-meter draft rule, which makes it a little bit more individualized, which is great. It is a flat and fast course. It is going to be windy, but it'll be cooler temps, so the temps won't be a big factor, but the wind definitely will. We'll have a 15-mile-per-hour headwind on the way out and tailwind on the way back. We kind of snake the course, so we go down and back twice and then back into town. So, you know, again, like I said, these guys are fantastic runners. I need to make sure I do the work early and try to keep it as close as possible so I have as little amount of work to do on the run. The run is, you know, my run fitness is where it's at. It's not going to get any better than between now and race day. Wasn't the ideal situation all summer, dealing with this little silly knee injury that turned out to be a little bit more than I ever thought it would be, but I was able to get the work done. The fitness is there, so just got to hold out for the 11 or so miles come race day. Yeah, the run is going to be pretty exposed on the backstretch, so we'll have a long block into the wind, which does make it a little bit more of a strength run, which I think suits me just fine. I seem to manage the strength style course at St. George just fine in May on the run, so I think that suits me well. And then we'll have a little bit of a tailwind coming home. It's a little bit more protected there, so that won't be as much of a benefit, but yeah, it's going to be an exciting race. I hope you all well, tune in. I'm leaving in the links below how you can watch the race, how you can watch the recap from the selection last night, and just how you can keep track of everything else leading into the race. The PTO and the city of San Marin have rolled out the red carpet for us. We're at the X-Bionic Sphere, have an amazing pool to swim in. We have a Zwift studio set up so we can do some indoor riding. I've been able to get outside on a couple of rides as well. We have a track if we want, treadmills if we want as well. And then obviously during the race, we have a 4-lane highway that's completely closed again, which is just a fantastic situation to be racing in. It creates a situation where you don't have to worry about what's going on alongside you or behind you. You can just focus on the race itself. So that's all I have for this quick update. Just wanted to talk a little bit about my matchup and why I'm excited to race these two guys. Thanks for tuning in. That's all I have for now. I will do another recap after the race at some point. But until then, hope you enjoy the show.